okay? I'm a little bit PO'd. Is that the word? Yeah, and I'm about to just probably be not as nice as I usually am when I'm talking about Miss Snake Lively. Why is that? I don't know, because on Wayfair's biggest day yesterday, their biggest day, where Scarlett Johansson was celebrating her opening night at TIFF for Eleanor the Great, a movie executively produced by Justin Baldoni and Wayfair, as well as they were also doing another premiere of their second movie coming out this month, The Senior. It was a big day for Wayfair, and Blake Lively chose yesterday to submit the most wildest, craziest letters and motions and whatever the frig this cluster F is into the courts. It's so funny because last week when Snake Lively and her little husband, Ryan Reynolds, were doing the pop NC and she was all doing her little like glossy Blake Brown, blah, 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 blah. And Ryan Reynolds is over there on TIFF doing his little John Candy red carpet crap that both of them completely failed in. The courts were real quiet, weren't they? They were real quiet. And then on Wayfair's biggest night this month, they choose to do this. And if that doesn't show you the type of people that they are, they're not out here for justice. They're not out here to, because Blake was so wronged and she was so violated and she's fighting for her rights. They're seeking revenge. They are seeking to completely destroy Wayfair. And there is no way that they're going to wake up today and have all the headlines about Wayfair celebrating, Scarlett Johansson celebrating, and all of this stuff. There was no way they were going to let them ever have that. Instead, they chose to do this for the biggest sucker punch of PR, and it's absolutely shady. It's a PR tactic. And for them to always be the ones crying that Wayfair is using the court dockets for some kind of PR game, what exactly was this? Absolutely disgusting. These are complete monsters we're dealing with. I'm like, up to here now with them because they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And tell me this, somebody, how is Blake Lively in one docket in this thing with Jed Wallace in the courts begging for New York law, begging for New York jurisdiction over Jed Wallace, but then now is over here asking for damages and all of this stuff under California law in the same court docket? And we should just count how many times now Blake Lively has filed for sanctions and for damages and for attorney fees. And girl, you have lost your mind. But the fact that y'all chose to do it last night during Scarlett Jo's opening night at TIFF for her movie, and while Wayfair was celebrating the senior red carpet, tells me everything I need to know about you. But I didn't have to be told because I already clocked you guys a long time ago. You're evil, you're monsters, you're gross, you're egotistical, and you're completely losing the plot. What can I say, guys? What can I say? I am peed off, okay? I am peed off because I was enjoying my night last night. I went to TIFF. I got to see Scarlett Johansson. I got to see Jude Squibb, a 95-year-old woman, come across a stage. I saw one of the most amazing movies, Eleanor the Great, which I'll have a review coming for you. The courts were real quiet yesterday. And then I came out of that movie celebrating. And actually, one of the notes I took in my notes while I was watching the movie was they never mentioned Wayfair. They're like, thank you to Sony, thank you for Mongrel Media, and thank you to all of our producers. No Wayfair. But in the opening credits, because it's TIFF, it's a film festival, the crowd is loud and about, okay? Like when names come up, everyone's cheering. It's such a good crowd in film festivals to go see any movie on. And when the light bulb came up in Wayfair, I was screaming. I was the only one. So if you were at that film festival and you were like, wah, to Wayfair, that was me, okay? Because I will definitely cheer for Wayfair any chance I get, okay? So I was cheering for them. And then I thought it was really weird. And a note that I made to myself was I was walking out of that theater and I was already kind of like, pissed at Blake and Ryan and Leslie and Stephanie motherfucking Jones, I was just feeling like in my heart so bad for Justin, so bad for Wayfair that Blake took this away from them. She took them celebrating their films. They shed on purpose a bad light on Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut. I mean, the absolute catastrophe that has happened because of these two people, Blake and Ryan. And then let's toss in Leslie Sloan and Stephanie motherfucking Jones, okay? I mean, their reign, their terror knows no bounds. I mean, look at all the over 107 content creators. Look at what's happening with all of the people being subpoenaed. And then just the sheer fact that Wayfair couldn't even celebrate that this movie, Eleanor the Great, that's such a huge, it's going to change people's lives. I mean, it's such a good movie. To have it even shadowed because of Blake, I mean, is disgusting. And what are we here for, Blake? Because he called you sexy, a word that you use all the time. Because he went into your trailer while you were pumping, allegedly, but there's text where you invited him in. Because he asked you to take off a big coat because all the cast were wearing onesies and you said your bra was showing, then zip it up, girlfriend. Like, why are we here? It doesn't make sense. Because you didn't get your way, because you wanted this movie, because you thought they were going to roll over when you asked them to make an apology in August, because you and your husband have lost the game of PR. You've lost what people actually relate to. And your marketing was horrendous. And people turned on you. And you've never had that before. And you couldn't handle it because your egos are so big that you decided to go scorched earth and literally destroy everyone in your path. And it still hasn't stopped. You continue to keep going.